Cecily here of Operation Fibroid Freedom. Welcome to tonight's live stream. Let's get this party started, shall we? I got a little chilly, so I had to put my long sweater on. I'm like, ugh. Is it spring or is it I love this sweater. Is it spring? Is it winter? What is it, right? So, I got my tea, of course. The Hello Beautiful cup to greet you whenever you're seeing this, because I knew you'd be here. Isn't that wonderful? So here we are. I hope you've had, I was going to say productive, but I kind of feel like productivity is not really the word for Sundays, right? Sundays is more like self-care, chill out. I had a nice little snowball pat. Remember those snowballs? Well, if you're not in my age range, you don't remember the snowballs Hostess cakes, which I shouldn't be talking about anyway. I hated those things growing up, but my friends at school loved them. But sometimes my little ball here, my Afro bee, reminded me of the shape of one of them snowballs. Anyway, welcome. How are you? I'm so excited to talk about my latest announcement. And that is, first of all, tonight's live stream has a subject, a topic of its own, right? So I don't want to get carried away and only talk about the upcoming Fibroid Freedom Challenge, which is kicking off March 18th. I will be giving details on that. So make sure you stay tuned throughout this live for the details. But if you want to, basically in a nutshell, have a free accountability buddy that is, practicing the lifestyle, habits, and changes to support natural fibroid elimination, and the ones that I personally have seen personal results from, you're definitely going to want to be involved on this next challenge. And that is the March Madness Operation Fibroid Freedom Challenge. It's 7 days. It'll be starting next Monday. I will officially be going over the actual rules, housekeeping, how things will flow starting tomorrow. But I wanted to put this out here today to kind of prime anybody who's interested. It's completely free. I'm doing this just out of my own courtesy, and also partially because I like to see y'all participate with me. Over the years, I've done a few challenges from time to time, but they've been in more so like in my private Facebook group. So I'm opening this challenge up just so you can kind of see inside the life of somebody who has had fibroids fall out, disappear, and someone who coaches other women on that, and what habits I recommend that you incorporate into your daily life in order for you to see success with reducing the number of fibroids, shrinking fibroids completely, maintaining natural fibroid elimination, wherever you are. If you are somebody looking for natural fibroid elimination support, tips, pointers, insight, best practices or habits, this will be a good kind of like a thing for you to watch and learn and definitely participate. Now, this challenge is free, but there will be, for the person that participates the most, in sharing daily accountability of the action steps that I'll be posting every day. Whoever has the most participation will win a free mini fibroid detox smoothie and tea kit. And that will be my best-selling By Fibroids tea, and also my Green Goddess Fibroid Detox Smoothie Powder. I'll be mailing that out to the winner, and I'll announce the winner on Monday, March 25th. So like I said, I'll be giving more details on the rules. I'll talk a little bit more about it before I get off. But today, we're going to be talking about old-fashioned remedies, old-fashioned grandma-style remedies that are simple, that support natural fibroid elimination, that apply to the subject of natural fibroid elimination, that you can use to get on track to shrinking fibroids, that apply in some way, but they may also apply to your whole body. So let's jump right in, because I actually have a list I'm going to show you of like over 20 things. And I could go on and on and on. So some of them are like no-brainers, but I will say after coaching women over the last, gosh, I don't even remember when I started my platform. It's definitely been more than 3 years. It may be 5 years. I have to double check that. But sometimes some of the underlying causes to why fibroids develop with certain women, sometimes they're very simple. Sometimes it's so easy to be like, oh, you haven't gone number 2 in a month, sis? Okay, well, maybe if we put some things in place naturally for you to begin doing that, I bet you'll see a lot of fast, very noticeable results in your health, in your own body right now, and also long term with seeing success at shrinking fibroids naturally. So I'm not going to go through all 20 right now. I just was jotting down things that I use. So, and that I know about. Let's jump right in, right? Some of these are no-brainers. So, okay. I'll get into some of the ones that won't, because some of them are like so simple and people don't think about it, but I'll get into one of those or two of those after I get into some of the juicier things. All right, so let's start off with the subject of estrogen dominance, right? Which we know is the underlying cause for why fibroids grow. There's too much estrogen floating around in the body. Another connecting reason to that is usually constipation, hormone imbalance, right? Estrogen is part of that subject of hormonal imbalance. Sluggish digestion. One of the easiest grandma's old-fashioned remedies that I can recommend for natural hormone balance to spark digestion easily and effectively can be had in one little meal or side dish. And that is sauerkraut. Sauerkraut, I've always loved since I was little. I was born in Germany, so I think my parents told me that I liked sauerkraut growing up. I don't know. But when I had fibroids, I learned all about how easy it was to spark healthy digestion, help to combat estrogen dominance, natural hormone balance to occur if you eat sauerkraut. And it's not even like you have to eat a crazy amount. It's just like the regular serving, which is not a lot. So beneficial for you and your hormones. So that's definitely a grandma's ancient old-fashioned remedy, right? Did I do that when I had fibroids? Yes. And I highly recommend that you do too. Another thing is you'll get a lot of good fiber. Let me go through some other benefits of eating sauerkraut that relate directly to fibroids. It's a cruciferous vegetable, right? Which means it's going to also support liver detoxification. So you're getting fiber, you're detoxing your liver, you're stimulating healthy digestion, helping the body to also expel, kick off excess estrogen, and helping the body to more efficiently move it through the intestines, right? So definitely sauerkraut is number one on my list for that reason. And it's so inexpensive. Not only is it inexpensive, but you can totally chop up your own cabbage, put it in some vinegar, maybe add some spices if you have a preference. If you want to add some spice, a little cayenne, some red pepper flakes, some seeds inside from the inside of a pepper, fennel or whatever you prefer, and you can literally let that cure, if that's the right word, for about 6 weeks, I believe. Don't quote me on that. And you have your own sauerkraut. It's cheap. And it does a lot of those wonderful things that I just mentioned. So let's keep going. Okay, shall we? The next one is huge. It kind of goes into, it directly relates to what we've talked about over the last 2 or 3 weeks since I've been coming live on Sundays. And it's definitely a grandma's old-fashioned, old-school remedy. Everyone's talking about it now. So you already know if you've been watching my weekly Sunday lives. Number 2 on the list is castor oil. I mean, whose grandmother, grandparents, auntie, moms, dads, when you were little, who did not have an encounter with castor oil being a child, right? And you already know about castor oil if you watch the live stream, but I'll give you a quick little recap. Um, put it on your abdomen, make it actual castor oil pack. Very efficient, cheap, but very sophisticated way to detox your liver, right? But not only does it detox the liver, it detoxes any area of the body where you put the oil. So this oil that is directly from nature is something that can be so efficient if we use it to pull toxins out from any area on the body. And it doesn't have to be thought of in terms of like, you know, I don't think I have toxins here, so why would I put it here, right? It's more so like you can put it where there's muscle tension. And if there's any toxins related to that, the oil will pull it out. It will induce healing, right? What else do we need to know about castor oil? There is a food grade castor oil where we can take it internally, but not all castor oils are meant to be taken internally. So definitely make sure that you verify and that it is clearly labeled that if you're choosing to take the oral form of castor oil, that is indicated on the bottle. But if you take it internally, it's able to cleanse you from the inside out. It's able to spark healthy digestion. And I do also highly recommend that. And if that ain't the most old-fashioned common remedy, I don't know what is. But if you're able to find the food grade and utilize it, it will help to clear out the toxins from the waste channels and the digestive system a lot more efficiently, which is directly linked to your body not forming fibroids. Because as we've talked about recently, fibroids are balls of waste that the body has formed or sectioned off into like a localized little ball of toxins, little ball of trash. The more you're able to help the body to eliminate properly through the body's waste channels, right? But also efficiently supporting those waste channels, helping to cleanse those waste channels. Castor oil is a wonderful natural substance that will facilitate you doing that. But again, make sure that if you're trying to take it internally, that you make sure that it is for consumption inside the body. And don't sleep on using it outside the body. It definitely works. Watch the week before last's video, if you haven't already, and watch the woman that I interviewed, Presley, talk about dissolving fibroids using castor oil. And she didn't even make a pack. She just put it on her abdomen. So, but now you're hearing about a lot of women that are using castor oil on their face. It's removing fine lines, removing age, scars, wrinkles, moles. I'm hearing about castor oil for obviously womb massage. If we're talking about stagnant energy being present in the abdomen or in the womb, when we're putting the oil on, it's very important to, with intention, massage that space, right? But you can also do that on any other area of the body as a superior form of self-care, as a more of a ceremonial time for you to take time for yourself using the oil in order to clear out anything that may be negative or lower vibrational energetically from the body. I highly recommend you use castor oil. Now, speaking of oil, number 3 on my list of old-fashioned remedies that still are very relevant today, that relate to natural fibroid elimination and more, aromatherapy, right? Essential oils are very, very beneficial. Number 1, essential oils are actually slept on, in my opinion, because I know in my own situation, I sleep on essential oils a lot. But when I use them, I'm always amazed that sometimes with whatever I may be dealing with, whether it be a headache, stress, I can literally take some essential oils and just smell them, and the headache, the stress, or whatever is ailing me in the moment disappears. So essential oils are very effective, and they're so old-fashioned and so ancient, right? Not to mention, we can combine essential oils with things like castor oil to enhance that strategy for wound wellness or for natural wellness on any part of the body, right? Some examples of that specifically, and let me know if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. But like I mentioned a headache, right? So peppermint oil is great for a headache. There's one company that specializes in essential oils that I love, and it was, I don't remember, but one was for stress. And I remember a friend of mine was selling those oils, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. And every time I smelled this oil for stress, literally anything that I might have been holding on to would leave my body, would leave my mind. It would literally uplift my mood. And I know that it felt like it was helping my body to stimulate production of more of the feel-good hormones. I think it's called Stress Away. I think that was the oil. It was a blend. Another example of the essential oils is frankincense. It's one of my favorites. Really beneficial for womb health, fertility. Also good for knee issues specifically, which shows how you can really get specific and fine-tune natural therapies for yourself using these natural, easy, simple remedies, right? Frankincense, also known as boswellia. Another oil, lavender. For stress and anxiety, highly recommend. Also used in a lot of yoni steams, right? Also used for womb health. Lavender is really good for that. So when we're talking about old-fashioned remedies, ancient remedies, it's important to note that none of these things, I wouldn't say none, but a lot of these things are so simple. They're not complicated. Sometimes I think, from personal experience first, we tend to overcomplicate things. And sometimes it's really simple, like eat less things that are going to cause congestion, that are going to cause the body to have to do too much processing to break it down into something that the body can use because the food itself is processed. And go back to more things that are close to how they form in nature, close to how they occur in nature. So essential oils is a great example of that. Not that we're just eating the essential oils. That was just an example, but there are essential oils that we can consume. Another essential oil that I absolutely love, I wouldn't say it directly relates to fibroids, but it kind of does, in that it serves so many purposes in my daily life, and can in yours too, to where it will protect you from using products that have toxins, that could have endocrine disruptors, right? That could be pharmaceutical type products, because you're able to substitute them with this one oil. And that is tea tree oil. Highly recommend tea tree oil. Now, this oil you can use, like I said, as a sub for deodorant in your own natural blends, or maybe by itself, depending on how clean or how plant-based of a diet you're following. If you're eating whole food plant-based, that usually cuts the issue with armpit odor, right? But if you are still consuming meats or processed foods, you may struggle with that. But the whole point of this is you can substitute from using those aluminum deodorants, or using deodorants that are natural, but they're not really natural, and they still have toxins and endocrine disruptors that are getting absorbed through the armpit and feeding fibroids, by switching to all natural means. And tea tree oil is an amazing option for that. I would recommend mixing it with an oil of your choice, or making your own deodorant, really, like baking soda, I even saw one of a girl somewhere was using castor oil, tea tree, and something else to make her own deodorant. It depends on what works for you. Another thing that is really cool with tea tree oil, it's like, and I'm not a doctor before I go into this, it can be put on cuts, it can be put on wounds and help the wounds to seal and heal a lot faster. Allegedly, right? Um, Great for the teeth, the tea tree. So, what does that mean? How does that relate to fibroids? Well, any toothpaste that you may be using that are from any of the big companies, or not even the big companies, if it's not a natural toothpaste, right? 100% natural, it's going to be containing things like fluoride, which is an endocrine disruptor, which is a toxin, which is going to not be great for the womb, throwing off the hormones. And so we want to find subs. So tea tree oil provides not only a sub for deodorant, but also toothpaste. You can mix it with things like coconut oil or another oil of choice if you don't want to use that. And you can do a toothbrush with that. And it's very efficient. In a lot of cases, if you do your research, there's plenty of people online that have said they've reversed cavities using those two items, maybe using some cloves, some other things, and making their own natural toothpaste. So, and they are not getting exposed to any of the toxins, to any of the endocrine disruptors. You're not feeding your fibroids by brushing your teeth. So I highly recommend tea tree oil. Another way that you'll see tea tree oil used a lot that is beneficial for womb health is in any blends where anybody's doing any sort of a, not necessarily a lubricant, but like a yoni soap or yoni bar or something to combat fungal infections, bacterial infections, right, in the womb, in the yoni. Tea tree oil is great for that, and it is all natural, and it is like nature's left, right hook, uppercut to any of those issues in the womb. So I definitely love tea tree oil for those things. It's also great for stimulating hair growth for my goddesses who may have been suffering from thinning hair due to iron deficiency, anemia, alopecia, whatever, stress-induced hair loss. Tea tree oil will help to stimulate that. You can mix it with other oils, of course, as well. Jojoba oil, rosemary oil, which is also wonderful for womb health and fertility. But I can go on and on about that. That was number 3. I have a list of over like 20 things. I'm not going to do them all. Let's go into the next one. Ancient remedies, old-fashioned grandma's remedies that apply to support natural fibroid elimination and also relate to overall wellness for the whole body. Like these are old, these are things that are like, they don't seem like a big deal, but they really are, and they're relatively inexpensive, if not free. You probably have some of these in your cabinet, in your kitchen, in your refrigerator right now, right? This next thing right here is a no-brainer. Oh, thank you, Naomi S. That's fascinating information. Thank you. It is my pleasure. That's why I'm here. Glad you're enjoying it. So this next thing is so simple. So simple, and you will hear a lot of women who succeed at shrinking fibroids mention this, and I'm going to tell you why. And that's green tea. Green tea. Green tea. So simple. Yes, you can say matcha falls in this category. It's like green tea on steroids, but not really, because steroids would not be natural, right? So don't think because I said steroids, we're not really talking about steroids. But matcha is like green tea, like to the 1/trillionth power, right? Green tea is great because it has things to eliminate free radicals from the body, which are part of what could be, you know, attributed to the toxins and oxidative stress, which could lead to fibroid growth, right? Could help to support tumor growth. You'll hear a lot of women that succeed at reducing tumors, reducing fibroids, as well as getting rid of the C word, allegedly, talk about green tea being powerful, a powerful natural resource for doing that. It has EGCG in it. That has a lot of properties that are beneficial for the body. But also green tea is great for joint pain, right? Green tea is great for a natural way to help your body, help your help to be stimulated and awake in the morning, right? Um, I personally would recommend, especially if you're thinking about participating in the 7-day Fibroid March Madness Challenge coming up, I would say use green tea if you drink coffee, because we're not supposed to be drinking coffee if we have fibroids. I'm saying that, and I drink coffee. I love coffee. But when I'm doing my challenges, I commit. So you're going to want to have substitutions that you can go to in advance to where you're going to be on track, right? You know you're not going to fall off the wagon. So I already know I can substitute green tea for coffee when I'm doing the 7-day March Madness Fibroid Elimination Challenge. So I would highly recommend that you do that because it is a healthier form of getting that caffeine in that also supports reduction in tumor growth or anti-tumor behavior in the body. So definitely get that going. It also has chlorophyll, which basically is like fuel. It's going to oxygenate those cells. Very simple, very common. Everybody knows what green tea is. So I'm going to move on. Another natural remedy that I highly recommend. Another no-brainer. You're going to be like, girl, I already know about that. But a lot of people, they know, but they don't use it. And that's vinegar. Whose grandmama did not have vinegar at some point? A spoonful of vinegar or vinegar in something, and then you didn't want to take it, or, you know, maybe you did. I liked cucumbers and vinegar growing up, and that's super good and good for the womb and good for natural fibroid elimination. But like vinegar, the good old apple cider vinegar. I used to say Bragg's, but Bragg's got bought out by, is it one of the big evil names that I don't want to mention on this live stream. Sounds like Bates, but it's not. But they got bought out by them, and so they may be compromised. So I do not recommend Bragg's anymore. But apple cider vinegar with the mother is what we're talking about here. Is the one that has the most properties that are beneficial. Now, I will say if you are one of those people from the Dr. Sebi lifestyle, which I love Dr. Sebi. I actually think he's, if you've heard me before, left such a great contribution here for us for so many remedies for ailments, right? You can't go wrong with Dr. Sebi, but if you're alkaline vegan, vinegar, actually a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about is probably not approved, but that's okay because we're not talking from the perspective of being alkaline, right? But apple cider vinegar is the truth. You can do so many things with it. Case in point, anytime I have a headache, I don't go to any sort of aspirin or ibuprofen anymore. Because back in the day, young Cess, there was young Cess, right? Young Cecily, this is pre-fibroids. This is Cecily that was living in New York. Cecily that was, you know, out partying and hanging out and didn't know what a fibroid was and just thought all we needed to drink was wine or coffee. That's Cecily. There was once upon a time when any type of ailment, any type of PMS would pop up, your girl was going to definitely be going for some ibuprofen. That was usually what I chose. But if I didn't have that, then there was some aspirin or some acetaminophen, I was going to take that. Like, duh, it is what it is. Like, I got to work a double. Let's pop these pills and let's pop the, I shouldn't say that because that sounds weird. Let's take these over-the-counter legal ibuprofen or acetaminophen and let's just push through. That was what my MO was back in the day for so many years. And when I think about that, I'm like, I can see the signs of why I probably developed fibroids because I was doing all these habits that are what we're trained to do, right? We don't really know any better. I wouldn't say there's nothing wrong with it. It's just kind of unfortunate because there was nobody talking about things from this perspective when I was coming up. So, you know, that's why I talk about these things now. You don't want to always be taking these NSAIDs or these synthetic things to fix these problems. You want to try to get to the root cause and find something that is not going to bring any other harmful byproducts in your health to the table. Because if we're always taking something for a headache or always taking something for PMS, we're never figuring out why we're having the cramps. We're never getting to the bottom of why we have the headaches. And so whatever's causing it is still present and it's going to come back. It's like putting a Band-Aid on and it will come back later. And those pharmaceuticals and synthetics that we're taking are going to throw more toxins into the body and build up and cause fibroids and who knows what else later, because they're inflammatory. They're highly inflammatory. They're going to lead to other things anyway. And they're going to cause hormonal imbalance. So apple cider vinegar mixed with some cayenne pepper, mixed with maybe a little lemon juice, but really, you really only need those two things. And that cayenne is going to go in and do something with those blood vessels and those capillaries in your head, wherever the pain is, and it's going to alleviate it immediately, along with that apple cider vinegar. It's like a wonderful, magical grandmama's, here's a safe, cheap, natural little blend just for that. So I want you to try that. If you've never tried that and you have a headache, just sprinkle, literally, you can just take the cayenne pepper that you have in the pepper shaker in your cabinet, sprinkle it into some vinegar, take you a few sips, sis. You're going to be good. Don't be crazy and put like a teaspoon. That may be too much. It's literally just a cup of regular water, like 8 ounces. Maybe a tablespoon, because the vinegar will burn the crap out of your throat. Do not try to drink the vinegar straight. It will burn you if it's the right type of vinegar. Mix it in water like a tablespoon. Maybe 3 dashes of cayenne. And sip it, and the headache is going to go. Those blood vessels, capillaries, those veins are going to open up. And you're going to be like, oh my God, the pressure's gone. You didn't need to take anything. Now you may go to the bathroom, but don't be like shy about bodily functions, because the reality is when you're going to the bathroom, it's because you need to expel whatever is in your system, whatever's in your waste channels. It needs to be moved out, so move it out. That's what we're doing. That's what fibroid elimination is about. You properly supporting waste expulsion from all of the waste channels of your body. Do not be shy. Make sure you give yourself enough time when you're implementing these new easy lifestyle habits and changes into your life in the morning. If you know you got to get up, you're going to be carpooling with a lot of people from the job, and you know you want to make sure you allot for time. If you're going to be going to the restroom beforehand, do your best so that you have time to go to the restroom before you get into the car and go carpool, right? Because nature and natural wellness and reversing things naturally is never convenient. I'm telling you now from personal experience. Naomi says, really impressed with all your sharing now. It is my pleasure, Naomi. I thank you so much for checking in with me in the chat. It's my pleasure, really. This is one of my passions. I love doing it, so it means a lot to me that you take the time to show up and comment. It's like, thank you. Somebody saw my message, and it's really near and dear to my heart. So thank you. Hearts to you, Naomi. Anybody else comment? Let me know in the chat. So yeah, so don't be shy about your body. All this is happening because you need to get closer in touch with your body. You need to get closer in touch and more up close and personal with your body, all your bodily functions, the good, the bad, the ugly, so that we can kind of take a true temperature of where we're at in order to get where we're trying to go. Okay? When I had fibroids and I was looking for anything to give me hope that it was possible to shrink them, I was like, I know it's going to be hard. And I was waiting tables full time, and I had many a day. I think at some point I didn't have a job, and I remember going to apply for a job, and I thought I had figured out how to not have heavy bleeding, and I had an accident happen in the middle of waiting for no, I was being interviewed. So I hurried up and tried to answer all the questions and ran out of there because I was like, oh my God, it didn't work. But eventually it did, and I just didn't give up. So that's not what this live is about. So we're going to keep going. Let's talk about aloe vera. Aloe vera, aloe vera, ancient, old-fashioned grandma's remedies that still work today that relate to natural fibroid elimination. Aloe vera and digestion are literally go hand in hand. That's like anything going on with digestion and aloe vera. Very simple, very easy way to support and promote healthy digestion. Aloe vera juice is what I'm referring to, but you can also get the actual leaf. Don't be shy. It's very bitter. It stinks, kind of like musty. Um, but that's nature. Again, don't be shy. Get in there and get it in your body. Now, if you get the leaf, make sure you look up the amounts on how much you should take, because it's simple, but it's also very powerful. It's not something you need to be taking all the time. So it's important for you to do your research and find out how often you should be taking these things. Because with aloe vera, for instance, for example, it works with healthy digestion. But if somebody's having problems with, say they're throwing up, you don't want to give them aloe vera because it may induce more of that. This is more like constipation. This is more like problems with the bowels, as far as wanting to have regular bowel movements or heal and soothe irritation going on within the bowel system. Aloe vera will be great for that, which I also think it's good periodically, like say we're going into spring right now and you want a simple, easy thing to help support healthy digestion and a gentle, effective bowel cleanse. Have some aloe vera juice or add some aloe vera gel, or literally take some of the aloe vera, the inside of the leaf, and chew on it for 3 days. One serving, no more than a tablespoon for 3 days, and then be done with it. And maybe do it again the next quarter. You know what I mean? But always consult your doctor. I'm not a doctor, but this is just an example of an old-fashioned remedy that can be used for healthy digestion, and it's cheap. It's literally a leaf, right? You can have a whole plant and have all this healing in this very high vibrational, powerful plant in your house. Okay, now we're going to get into the super, super simple things and how you can really be mindful of making sure you are doing these daily things that are so simple, that are free, in order to promote healing. And the next one is sleep. Pause. Full stop. I'm going to take a sip of tea after that. Sleep. Let's talk about it. We underestimate how powerful and how important it is to get a full night's rest of good, deep sleep. But our grandmothers, our aunties, our elders in our families, you remember when you were little and you had something going on and they'd be like, go in there and lay down, you'll be all right. Or they'd give you a bath, which is another good old-fashioned simple way to promote healing, is to get in the bath. So many people do not take a full bath anymore. I'm one of them, because I'm always like, I don't have time. I'm going to get in the shower. I don't have time for a bath. But when we're talking about, and yes, I'll go back to sleep in a second. We're talking about womb wellness. One of the most powerful things that we can do is to slow down during and make an actual ceremonial time for self-care in the form of taking a loving bath, right? I have taken times where I have done this, especially if we are, at a stage in life where we're working on, manifesting big dreams, right? As women, like we really want to take time and just pause and connect and immerse our bodies in this highly interdimensional living thing here in this realm, and that's water. You also want to make sure you're hydrated. But baths really take, kind of force us to take time, force us to move into the cleansing process with intention, and also look at it. I say force us, but I know some of us don't do this. But it's really easy to kind of look at it more as a self-care ceremonial practice. If we take a bath. And you can also add so many healing things to a bath. You can also add so many elements to a bath to make it a multi-sensory experience that will reset anything that's causing stress from the day, to activate those feel-good hormones, the feel-good chemicals, the serotonin and all that kind of stuff. We can bring back the subject of aromatherapy, add that to the bath. Magnesium, 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 Epsom salts in the bath, right? Perimenopause. Magnesium is one of the main minerals that we are deficient in going into perimenopause, going into menopause. If we're looking to boost fertility, right, that magnesium is critical. Not to mention, as somebody who works out a lot, teaching dance fitness, over 40, like magnesium is so integral no matter what phase you're at, right? One of the things that you're going to learn about mineral wise that we need to make sure we are prioritizing. Magnesium is critical, not just for womb health and fertility, right? But like I said, for cardiovascular health, for brain health. And there's so many different forms of magnesium. But back to the baths. Epsom salt is a great way to get a dose of that magnesium from those salts. Not to mention, the salts help to diffuse negative energy, which is those positive ions, which lower the vibrational frequency. That's also a way to bring nature inside, right? If we have any sore muscles, if we have any pulled muscles or tension or anything like that, those Epsom salts are going to help to diffuse that and pull that out. We can add full fresh herbs to a bath. We can add those same herbs that you may hear about in a yoni steam into a healing salt bath. Not to mention Dead Sea salts or healing mineral salts, minerals, right? My grandmamas used to make me a bath. Me and my sisters, we used to get baths all the time. And you know how like restorative it was to get a bath when you were little, and if you don't, then I invite you to start making hot baths for yourself now. It's such a treat, especially when you don't do it all the time. And if you are, like I said, going into, you want to, have babies. Thank you for the priceless information and encouragement. It is my pleasure, Quantara Lachey. Thank you for your comment. It means so much to see all these new names and faces. I really appreciate you showing up and commenting. Yeah, so baths, especially if you're working on, like I said, you're in your goddess energy, you're manifesting. A lot of women are, wanting to get rid of fibroids naturally so they can go into motherhood. That bath is your time to really go into your throne room and to really be a visionary in there, putting those things in that bath that help to cultivate whatever feelings you want for you to really be there and make whatever it is you're manifesting real in your mind, right? Do that for yourself. It's really a gift, and it's a way for you to, it's almost similar to getting flowers for yourself. Doing those things for yourself help to reset the energy in your life for you to start seeing in your waking life things that match your biggest goals and dreams in your head. And that's a reminder for me that I need to get back on my baths, because I was taking a lot of baths a while back, adding my oils. Sometimes I'd have candles, lots of, this is Palo Santo. I've had this for so long, but it's so thick. Little things to help make it official for you and special for you. Baths, very critical, very easy. And we said magnesium. So let's see. I'm not going to stay on here too long. I said herbal baths. Oh. We did aromatherapy. Now we talked about water from the baths, but constipation, hydration, right? Water. Sometimes we need to just make sure we're getting enough water, and that's the underlying cornerstone that will help our herbal plans to get rid of fibroids be more effective. That will help our exercise regimen to be more effective. That will help the flow of negative energy outside of the body to be more efficient by hydrating yourself from the inside out. Now, as far as hydration goes, there's a lot of talk lately about water not being the most hydrating substance, believe it or not. If you haven't heard that, that's cool. Don't worry about it. I have a couple tips. We still gonna drink some water. Come on now. We gotta drink water. And there's different levels to the water that we can drink. I'm not the water expert. I would say some of my favorite waters are fresh spring water. I love the spring water in the glass bottle. Saratoga Springs is like creme de la creme, right? I love the Saratoga Springs water when I can get it. But if you don't have access to that, I can't think of all of my favorite brands. Alkaline water is good. I do not think you need to drink alkaline water all the time. And if you don't have access to either of those and you just have regular bottled water, baby, do you work with what you got. Don't be caught up in negative energy on anything I say, which has happened in the past, because you're like, I don't have that, so I can't. No, it's not about that. It's about you moving from a place of positive, intentional energy, taking action from where you're at. That's how you activate that God energy, the Most High, to meet you and help you to manifest natural fibroid elimination and to see your womb healed in your life. You have the power just like I do. Our lives are not 100% the same. Take this information and make it work for you in your life, right? But with water, we want to make sure we're hydrated. We want to add some Celtic sea salt, just a couple of sprinkles with minerals to help the body more easily be able to absorb that water. If we add a few minerals, right? The trace minerals in those couple of pinches of the Celtic salt. It should not taste like salt water. It literally can be one sprinkle of salt from that you pinch in there. That's one way to improve your hydration. Another way is to make sure you're getting actual water from fruits and vegetables, because you are making green juice. Make your green juice. If you're on a natural fibroid elimination journey, green juice is one of your main tools. And you will hear about this from me during the Fibroid Freedom Challenge kicking off on Monday. That's going to be definitely one of the points of action. So be ready. If you don't have a juicer, it's okay. Use a blender and then squeeze it out in a cheesecloth or sift it, right? But we gonna make some green juice, because did I use green juice when I saw the fibroid fallout? Yes, I did. Green juice is a main tool, as are green smoothies. I'll give you a little hint right there. Smoothies and juices serve two different purposes, and we use them both to support natural fibroid elimination and also to support elimination of any infirmity in the body at any time. We go to plants. We go to them in both forms. They are totally different. They do not all do the same thing. That being said, green powder. You'll see me talk about my fibroid detox green smoothie powder, right? I highly recommend that. That's similar to other green powders you'll hear about, where people will say mix a little bit in water and drink it. That's not green juice. That's the green powder in water. It's going to supply minerals. It's going to supply a lot of nutrients. It's wonderful. Is it as good as green juice? Absolutely not. It's totally different. It's more like a whole food supplement. Think of it like getting vitamins from food, but it's just powder. So it does not do the same thing, and it's nowhere near as powerful or potent as juicing, fresh pressed juice in real time from fruits and vegetables. So we're going to use all of those things, and I want you to use those things, but I do not want you to be misinformed and think because we're drinking the powder and water that we're getting the same powerful potency as green juice, because green juice is so it's like, think of it like a laser to help you see fibroids reduce in size and number. Okay? It's so serious. It needs a category and a habit bullet point on your calendar of its own. And I recommend that you get green juice in your body every day if you're serious about shrinking fibroids. And I recommend that you get a minimum of 16 ounces. Not a cup of green juice. Now, if that's all you can do because you don't have a juicer, then what are we going to do? We're going to just go with where we are and work with what we have. And that will be enough until we can do better, right? It's about building these habits and starting with what you have. But I do recommend, for best results, if you're really looking for rapid results, at least 16 ounces of green juice every day. Now, the recipe for green juice can vary. I do have some guidelines for how I recommend building a green juice recipe. It doesn't have to be super complicated. I say that all the time. But it doesn't. You just really want to make sure that you have watery vegetables as the base so that you can have a lot of it or as much of it as possible. So start with your celery and cucumber. I know a lot of people, as soon as I say green juice, they go straight to celery. Celery is beautiful, wonderful. I use it in almost all my green juice recipes, but I do not, for the most part, use it by itself because it's great for those natural salts and things like that. It's got other nutrients in it, but you got to add cucumber. You're going to need more water, and you're going to start to add in herbs that apply to whatever properties you would like this juice blend to have. You may want to work on the blood, so you'll add some beets. You know, you may want to work on uh, not having nausea if you're pregnant, so you're going to add some ginger. You may want to not have pain in your muscles or headaches, so you'll add turmeric and ginger. You know, so it could get very intricate. We want to make it. We may want to make it liver specific, a liver supportive liver detox juice. So we may add a couple of pieces of bok choy or some cruciferous vegetables like Swiss chard in there because they're cruciferous. They're going to go in and cleanse the liver with the celery and the ginger and the cucumber. So the juice can take on whatever properties you want it to take on intentionally. Just know why you're choosing the other fruits and or vegetables, but definitely start with the celery and the cucumber. Okay. And I'm talking my own ear off, and I don't like to go over an hour. If anybody has any questions, oh, thank you so much, Naomi. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I love the comments. What else can we talk about? We talked about, oh, I got a good one. Since we're talking about grandmama's remedies, right? When we think of grandmamas, what do we think about? I said grandmama. That's how we talked in my house. We didn't say grandma or grandmother. We said grandmama. Okay? Well, when I think of grandmamas, I think of like the kitchen with like cookies and baking materials because, you know, you always have goodies. Grandma always has goodies in the kitchen and cakes and, you know, I come from a Southern background, so big pound cakes and all that kind of stuff. But they also had the healing remedies, and it was always some natural stuff in the kitchen. But actually, this next ingredient is a really amazing ingredient that is used in a lot of baking, but it also relates directly to natural fibroid elimination. And here's a bonus tip: heavy bleeding. So let's get into it. Heavy bleeding, the remedy for heavy bleeding. Not the only remedy, but one of the main, easiest, cheapest remedies. Not any kind of molasses, but it is molasses. So the next ingredient is molasses. The next topic is molasses. It's definitely a grandma ingredient, but it is blackstrap molasses. I don't know if you've heard about it. Again, I will say, do not confuse this with any molasses. It has to be blackstrap. Why? Because blackstrap is significantly higher in iron than regular molasses. And it is lower on the glycemic index than regular sugar products. And because it's so high in the iron, it's got magnesium in it. It has copper in it. You know, we usually don't get into these things, but it's one of those old-fashioned remedies that is so mineral and nutrient dense. You can take this by the spoonful or mix it in water and see your problems with heavy bleeding stop in their tracks. Now, that being said, all blackstrap molasses may not be created equal. I used to use a specific type of blackstrap molasses back in the day. It's no longer available on they don't sell it anymore. So I know there's one brand that you'll always see. You may try that brand now and you may not see as much benefit. I think that brand was called Plantation. I personally didn't see much benefit with that brand, so I would say look around for another brand. I can't think of the other names, and I'm not the expert on that. But just buy blackstrap molasses. It's got to be blackstrap, because that's the kind that supports womb health. It's low glycemic index. And a lot of people, when I put up this fibroid challenge that we're kicking off on Monday, it says no meat, right? The rules are no meat, no dairy, no sugar. What else does it say? So that means we're going to be eating a whole food plant-based diet, obviously, right? And so people automatically freeze and they're like, well, I can't eat anything. And that's really hard, right? But it's because they don't have these substitutions. Remember earlier I was talking about we have to set our substitutions in advance. So we already know what our go-tos are for when we get those sweet cravings. We already know. That's how I'm able to stick to this stuff, you guys. Because I already have a game plan of what I'm going to go to for the cravings that I get a lot of. And that's, I have a sweet tooth. So if I make a smoothie, a fibroid detox smoothie using my Green Goddess Fibroid Detox Smoothie powder, I'll give you an example. And frozen banana, frozen cherries, maybe some frozen blueberries, coconut water as the liquid base, handful of leafy greens for calcium, iron. The leafy greens may have kale in them, so that's your liver support. What else? That's just a quick example. But then I'm putting a tablespoon or two of blackstrap in there. Do you not think that you're going to see major benefits because it's super rich in iron and you're getting all those nutrient-dense vegetable or fruits rather, and that nutrient-dense green powder in that smoothie recipe? You're not going to have any PMS. You're not going to have any cravings because it's sweet. Now, I will say the molasses tastes like molasses. Molasses is like, the blackstrap is like licorice, but I liked licorice growing up. So if you don't like licorice, I would say maybe give it a shot and try it in some other recipes anyway, because you can totally mix this up with maybe if you blend up dates in the food processor and you want to make your own little Snickers bites, or melt some chocolate with coconut and maybe drizzle it over the top, you're getting a good dose of iron, and that's going to prevent heavy bleeding. Like, I would still say give it a try if you suffer from heavy bleeding, because it's a game changer. It is a game changer. It's a game changer for real. So I just gave you some major gems with that one, and we're going to tie it up with that one. But what I did want to say about water, because I jumped around, is you want to make sure you're hydrating with water, because it relates to, a lot of women talk about painful periods, painful sex in general, but painful sex from fibroids, dryness, right? Constipation and missed periods. A lot of women that I coach, once I have them tracking their water intake and they're actually doing it rather than just showing up, because sometimes they just show up and get the information and then they put it off taking action. But when they finally start taking action, they're like, oh my God, I don't have pain anymore during intercourse, or oh my God, I don't have pain PMS anymore, because they're drinking enough water. They're making sure they're hydrated. They're using my recipes that I just rolled out to you, one of them that has one of the most hydrating natural waters from a plant, coconut water, possible in nature, right? So it's about having a plan. And a lot of us sometimes defeat ourselves before we even get started, because we say, oh, it's so hard. I can't do this. I can't stick to this. I don't want to even try because I know I'm not going to be able to eat whole food plant-based for 7 days. But it's like, I just mentioned however many things that you can use in your daily life that support natural fibroid elimination, that will wipe out a lot of other habits that cause hormone imbalance, that cause estrogen dominance, that cause toxins to build up in the body. I just mentioned a whole bunch of things that were virtually free that will support natural fibroid elimination. If you could begin to implement some of these habits, you're going to begin to see changes. And that's just level one. That's just entry level talk, right? Like I said, I coach on this information. So there's up leveling where we can actually begin to talk about a sophisticated herbal plan tailored to you based on your whole body, right? Because it's not just fibroids. Some of us have other issues. Some women are also suffering from things like PCOS, or some women have whatever other ailment you may be suffering from, high blood pressure, high blood sugar. Somebody else can't take herbs. I've had that before. So I have to help, you based on where you're at, come up with a plan that is a fibroid freedom action plan that will be responsive to you and your body and your life. But it's also up to you to implement it, to commit to these changes, and then build upon it based on what organically develops in your body. That's what this is all about. So last time I'm going to say it today, and I'll probably be back tomorrow because I have to go over the rules in detail. But we're starting the March Madness Fibroid Detox Challenge next week. And the purposes of the challenge are to make everybody aware, make anybody interested aware of how easy it is to have daily habits that you do in your daily life that will help you to see results with shrinking fibroids, with decreasing the symptoms you may be experiencing of fibroids, and give you motivation that you can possibly see yourself succeeding at shrinking fibroids if you're able to commit to a set of lifestyle changes similar to what we'll be doing together for the 7 days. We start March 18th. It is 100% free. What you'll have to do is commit and decide that you're going to do it. And by doing that, you will be required to follow this channel and follow all of the social media accounts. I have 4 that I've listed, my Instagram, and then I have workouts that I will be also requiring anybody who's serious, because I teach dance fitness, I teach yoga, I teach strength, and I will be giving some workouts that we will be participating in during the challenge together. And it requires, for your own accountability, you to share daily accountability that you're actually participating in the challenge. Whoever checks off all of the boxes, it won't be a lot, I promise, each day will win. Now, if I have multiple women participate and they check off each of the actions for each day, and we get to the end of the week and it's like a tie, then we will do a drawing. That's how we're going to do it. But we'll see how it goes, because I've had a few people say they're interested. But in order to officially join, I will be sharing the flyer where you can snatch it off of IG and you can post it on your social media and say, hey, I'm doing the challenge. And then every day you'll have to share, Naomi, you're in. Yes, yay. Okay, so make sure that are you following me on Instagram? Make sure you're following me there. And I will be posting the flyers that you're going to have to post. And your stuff has to be public too. Otherwise, it doesn't get the awareness out. Okay, perfect. So give me a shout over there and let me know it's you, Naomi. And I will, because I have a few other people that said they're going to be doing it. I'm going to be doing it too. We're all doing it. We're all accountability buddies. I'll be posting. But definitely give me a DM and let me know you're in, because I may do, even if it's just a handful of us, a small little group, so that we can do a check-in, like at the beginning, middle, and end of the challenge, right? I may do that too. So I'll be back tomorrow going over the rules, but just keep in mind it's whole food, plant-based is what we're doing. No, I'm not a dietitian, so I don't have a 100% meal plan laid out for you, but I do have some recipes that I'll be sharing different days. I'm definitely going to be sharing those smoothie recipes. I definitely have some meal recipes that I will be sharing that you can make just for inspiration. Lots of this stuff is super easy. If you don't have any go-tos, like I said, I'll put some links to some stuff, but there's a lot of stuff on this channel already. But I'll put some breakfasts, I'll put some lunches, I'll put some things that you can eat for dinner. But when you're eating whole food plant-based, I will say this, when I'm eating whole food plant-based, sometimes the breakfast, lunch, and dinner line gets blurred. I feel like I can eat some of the stuff that I ate for dinner for breakfast, you know, because it's like I eat a lot of chickpea meals and I could eat that as dinner or breakfast. If it's something sweet, it'd probably be a smoothie or oatmeal. But I put a lot of fruit and a lot of yummy goodness in my oatmeal. Some of these meals are simple. They're like, let's eat fruit. Let's have fruit as a meal. Let's have a huge raw salad. Let's make hummus and make a good vegan bowl, which I have a couple of recipes for that I'll be sharing with y'all too. I'll send some links to give you some inspiration. But just think like each day, like for instance, Monday, you're going to get the information on what we're doing probably the day before. I have to think about how I want to do it, which is why I may do a small group. So definitely let me know whenever you see this by going to my Instagram or commenting on this video that you want to be in, and I'll figure out how to get your information, because this is YouTube and I don't have anything set up. But you could drop your email in the comments too. But I'm just going to give you some stuff to do each day, and I'll have some pre-recorded workouts. They're already ready. One of the days or a couple of the days we'll do a live workout together, but you got to participate to get the prize. You have to participate each day, and whoever does everything You get the tea and you get the smoothie powder mini combo that I'll be giving away. And I'll announce you as the winner on Monday, March 25th. So that's it for the day. I hope this was beneficial. Tell a friend about Operation Fibroid Freedom. Come back next week, same time, but I'll be here since we're going into this challenge time. I'll be back tomorrow to talk to you a little bit more about the rules, reposting the rules for you, and we're going to go from there. But it's nothing to stress out about. It's all about learning more about yourself and building these habits that you can make a part of your lifestyle to where you'll start to see results. You'll start to see fibroids get smaller, disappear. Kayla Hall wants to join. Sounds good. Are you following me on Instagram, Kayla Hall? Let me know if you're following me. I don't think I can type in the chat. Can I type in here? Let's see. No, I cannot. Let's see. I'm on my phone here. So that's the issue. Top chat. Yeah, no. Okay, I can't type in the chat, but so it's not a registration official. I'm going to go over the rules tomorrow again on the live. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel. And are you on Instagram, Kayla? Because you just need Kalia. Am I saying that right? Kalia Hall. I hope I am. Go over to Instagram. It's at symbol OP Fibroid Freedom. That's my account. I will be posting the rules and going on them. What time live tomorrow? It'll be in the evening. Okay. So I'll be back tomorrow. It'll be after, time is not in stone. We said 8 today. It'll be around the same time, but I'm not 100% sure. So you just got to come back and check for the link. Let's say 7-ish, but we'll see. 7 or 8-ish. I have a lot going on tomorrow. I don't know exactly what time I'll be back. But I'll let you know, Kalia. In order to get all the points for the challenge, you need to be following me. One of those rules is to be following me on Instagram and YouTube. So you may want to make an account for the challenge because you need to be following me on all of those social media just for points to participate. Say 7-ish, say 7 p.m., but it's not in stone. Just look out for the link. I will post a link in advance once I'm able to look at my schedule and make sure that I can be here at 7 or see if it'll be at 8. So just check back and I'll post the live link here in advance and you'll be able to see the exact time for tomorrow. All right. We're going to go over the rules where I'll give you more details. And what else do you need to know? I'm going to make probably a small Facebook group for anybody who is serious. I already have a Facebook group, but I think I want to just keep whoever's doing it, even if it's just a few of us in our own little group. So do you have an email? If you want to drop it on this video, you can drop it, or you can drop it in the comments right now and I can write it down, or you can just show back up tomorrow. Are you on TikTok, Kalia? If you are, I'm on TikTok as well, 333.cecili. I'll also be posting the details there. But just keep in mind that we start Monday, March 18th is the day, and I'll have more information tomorrow. All right? Y'all are awesome. If anybody wants any inspo on natural fibroid elimination using castor oil, and this is the first time you heard about me, go back 2 weekends ago, I think, and look at the Hi Goddess Melissa. Melissa's in the challenge with us as well. Okay, so that's part of the rules of the challenge because it's to raise awareness, is to make sure you're following me, not necessarily on TikTok, but it is subscribing to the YouTube and following me on Instagram. But if you just want to participate anyway, that's your option. Is just get the information and participate. That's fine. You just may not have as many points as everybody else to win the free tea and smoothie powder, the fibroid detox kit at the end of the challenge. But if you want to be, entered to win that kit, you want to make sure, even if you open up a little account and don't put anything on it other than the participatory accountability posts for the challenge, I would recommend doing that so that you can be included in the free green smoothie powder and fibroid tea at the end. Melissa, I hope your dinner was great. I gave some good info on old-fashioned remedies to shrink fibroids that also apply to the whole body that are like grandma's remedies. So that's what we went over today. I'll see y'all tomorrow, either 7 or 8-ish. Remember, check back here for the link, and we will go over the official challenge rules and what's going down. I'll have a little outline of some of what we're going to be doing each day of the challenge. Be ready to move your bodies, because movement is a part of expelling waste and toxins. It's not a, what's the word? Challenge where we're only going to focus on eating. One of the actions will have to do with eating whole food, plant-based, a recipe, right? Another action may be affirmations. Another action could be something like, what was I saying? I have a whole list of things, but I haven't organized them for you yet. Something for self-care, right? And then we'll do yoga, right? Or we'll do womb dance, which y'all know I'm a dance fitness teacher. So now will we do everything all on the same day? No, but we will have multiple bullet points to hit each day. And your job, if you want to win the prize, the free teen smoothie powder, is to share your accountability post at the end of each day saying, hey, I participated in the 7-day fibroid challenge, day 1, day 2. That's what we're going to be doing. All right, so meet me back here between 7-ish or 8-ish. Check back for the link, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace, love, and fibroid release. Thank y'all.